Hi y'all, and welcome to the garden. It's Labor Day, the sun is starting to set here soon, and my dad just made it back to Alabama, and he was the biggest help, and we had the most productive weekend. We got lots of trees cut down. We had a wall removed in our garage. It was an internal wall that was put up by the original owner of the house that kind of divided the two garages, and it was just taking up space we needed in the garage. So we tackled that first, and then we cut down some trees. I did go ahead and remove the birch that was right here in front of the house. I got looking at it more closely. I was originally going to try and limb it up, and when I started looking at it more closely, I think I showed that on video, it had some holes in it that had been caused by insects or woodpeckers, and there was a lot of damage and death on it. And so I thought, now while my dad's here to help me remove all those other spruces that were dying, go ahead and take that one out, and I can pick something to put here this fall that'll be beautiful this spring. And I did pick up on Saturday, I went to Bob's Garden Fair, which is a Dayton, is an interesting Dayton plant sale. It happens the Saturday of Labor Day weekend every year, and small vendors from all over Ohio and some as far as New York come and sell interesting conifers and rare species of shrubs and trees. And so I got a bunch of dogwoods I will probably show you in the next video, but I'm thinking about planting a bunch of varieties of dogwoods around here. I'll go over those in the next video though. This video was just a quick weekend update to show you how productive I was. I didn't get any more shrubs removed, but we removed like a total of 6 to 8 trees. There were 2 towards the front of the property that were completely dead. And had been for so long, we just pushed one of them over with a tractor and the whole root ball and everything come up. And we got all of the spruces removed, which is really nice. This weekend, I'm going to Brown's, I think it's Brown's and Sons Nursery, for a plant auction that they have every year to clear out their inventory for winter, all the things they've dug, so they don't have to harbor them over winter and risk them just completely dying with our cold weather here. But you can see the spruces are gone from around the fence. One of them was completely dead and the bark was falling off of it, so it posed a concern with it falling on the fence, and then the other 2 were on their way out as well. So I'm not going to have these stump ground, I don't think. I'm going to let them die off, and then we'll try some methods of removing. I may do a burn barrel to burn out the stump, or I may just let them sit since they're not bothering anything. We cut them low to the ground, which is nice. This area will get more sun, but this weekend when I go to the plant auction, I'm going to look for some different trees to put here. They might be evergreens, they may not, but something to provide a little privacy towards the south side of the property. There's still a couple trees I want to remove, but that'll probably be a spring project. I think I mentioned removing this crabapple back here that's in the back. It's placed very oddly. It's growing into and over this lilac and the Rose of Sharon behind it that I've showed you before. I also got mulch delivered. We ended up burning all of the wood almost that we cut down from these trees, which was incredible. Got mulch delivered so I can start mulching some of my beds after I do the drip irrigation. Tomorrow the plumbers are supposed to come to repair the hose spigots that aren't working, so I can actually start watering and start putting in parts of infrastructure that I need to successfully make these plants grow. So we've got a small stack of Euonymus back here that I removed, which I'm going to go show you very quickly. So I removed all the Euonymus that I've showed you in a previous video that was under that crabapple, and that bed looks like an incredible open space for planting. So here it is. I actually found the tag in the ground. This Euonymus was called Emerald and Gold. And if you have this Euonymus, one of the reasons I was removing it is, one, because it was overgrown, but look at all of these bugs when I pulled it off. You see all those little white specks? Those are bugs, and it was really disgusting. So let's go take a look at the next bed I'm probably going to plant up with some shade plants that I have left over. I've got some proven winners ones that I'm going to put in there, an oak leaf hydrangea. I've got a couple shade perennials I'm going to tuck in there. And then I've also placed an order with two companies online for some ferns that will be arriving this week. That was why one of these priorities was to get this bed cleaned out as soon as possible. So I'll show you a before picture, but this is what it looks like now, free of Euonymus. Now I may still have some pop up here and there because the roots are still exposed. I cut out as much as I could, but we'll take care of that when it shows its head again, and I'll get that taken care of quickly so it doesn't spread. But this is going to be a beautiful spot. Probably stick an oak leaf hydrangea right here in front of that fence, or maybe in the center. I've got some more of those Tough Stuff Top Fun that I showed you in the last video, and Let's Dance Lovable I can put here that'll get some sun. And I think this will be a really beautiful place when it's filled with ferns and hostas and all sorts of other shade perennials. Because this area doesn't get a whole lot of sun, it's protected by this older crabapple here for most of the day. Little evening sun on the west side of the house, but just for a tiny block right here about this time, 7 o'clock or so, and then it goes behind the trees and is protected again. So it'll be a really nice spot. The soil is pretty moist. You can see all the moss growing in here. It's dried out a little bit since I pulled those up this morning, but it's a good indicator that some shade things are going to love this spot because it stays in really nice condition to grow those types of things. We have enjoyed lots of pool time, which has been really nice. I got a little sun from being outside all weekend, but this is the start to my favorite time of year. I'm really a fall person. Spring is beautiful since I started gardening. I do not love the heat of summer, but September, Labor Day is usually a really productive weekend for me in the garden. And it kind of begins the time where we can start planting again, which means lots of beautiful things going into the garden. So there's going to be a lot of planting coming up, a lot of preparation for fall. I'm hoping I can pick up a ton of trees this weekend that I can fill the landscape with to get started for a beautiful spring garden next year. Thank you guys for joining me on this quick weekend update. I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day weekend, and remember, in a world full of hate, be a light. Take care. Bye.